All right, today we're jumping right into the epic Quranic story of the Prophet Musa. It's an incredible journey, you guys, packed with faith, miracles, and some really profound lessons that have resonated with people for thousands of years.
So picture this. We're going back about 3,500 years to ancient Egypt. It's a land ruled by this tyrannical king, Pharaoh, a guy who literally thought he was a god. But one night, he has this dream that just shakes him to his absolute core. He sees a vision of a fire that just consumes his entire kingdom. But, and this is the crazy part, it leaves the enslaved Israelites completely untouched. This one nightmare, it's the spark that's about to set an incredible divine plan into motion.
As you can imagine, Pharaoh is absolutely terrified. He immediately calls in his soothsayers, his dream interpreters, and they give him a chilling prediction. A boy will be born to the Israelites, and this boy will be the cause of his downfall. And, well, Pharaoh's reaction is exactly as swift and brutal as you'd expect.
So, to try and stop this prophecy, Pharaoh does something truly horrific. He orders a massacre of all newborn Israelite boys. But here's where God's plan starts to unfold in the series of what just seems like impossible events. First, a mother gets this divine inspiration about how to save her baby son. She places him in a basket on the Nile. Now you'd think that's it, right? But the river, it carries him straight to the royal palace. And who finds him? Pharaoh's own wife, Azia. She convinces the king to adopt the child. I mean, the irony is just incredible. The very boy prophesied to destroy Pharaoh is now being raised as a prince in his own house.
So fast forward a bit. Musa grows up into this strong, righteous young man, and he knows about his Israelite roots. One day, he's out, and he sees an Egyptian soldier just brutally beating an Israelite. Musa's sense of justice kicks in. He rushes to defend the man, strikes the soldier just one time, and accidentally kills him. And just like that, his life as a prince is over. He's forced to flee, to go into exile, leaving everything he's ever known behind.
After fleeing Egypt, Musa makes his way to the land of Midian, and it's there he finds refuge. He ends up working as a shepherd for 10 years and even marries the daughter of the prophet Shu'aib. Think about that transformation. The prince of Egypt is now a humble shepherd. His old life must have felt like a distant memory, but his true destiny, well, it was about to catch up with him.
So he's on this long journey, heading back towards Egypt with his family. It's dark, it's cold, they're in the middle of the desert. And then he sees it, a fire, burning in the distance on the side of Mount Tor. He thinks, okay, maybe we can get some warmth, some direction. So he starts walking towards it, not knowing he's walking straight towards a divine appointment.
And yeah, this is no ordinary fire. As he gets closer, he realizes it's a bush on fire, but it's not being consumed. And from within that burning bush, God himself speaks directly to him. "O Musa, I am Allah, the Lord of the worlds." Can you even imagine? In that one profound moment, Musa is chosen. He's made a prophet and given this absolutely monumental task. Go back to the very man you ran from and demand he free your people.
Now, God knows this isn't going to be easy. To help prove his mission to a very skeptical Pharaoh, God gives Musa two powerful miracles. First, his ordinary shepherd staff. When he throws it down, it transforms into a massive, slithering serpent. Second, his hand. When he places it inside his cloak and pulls it out, it shines with this brilliant, supernatural white light. Armed with these signs, and with his brother Harun assigned to be a spokesman, Musa is finally ready to go back.
So Musa and Harun go, they stand before Pharaoh, they deliver God's message, and they show him the miracles. And Pharaoh's reaction? He's not impressed, not at all. He just scoffs, basically calls Musa a cheap magician and says, "You think that's special? I've got magicians." He sets up this huge public showdown, Musa versus the best sorcerers in all of Egypt.
Okay, so the day of the festival arrives. There's a massive crowd. Everyone's there to watch. Pharaoh's sorcerers, they go first. They throw down their ropes and their staffs, and through some really powerful illusion, the entire ground just seems to erupt with life. It looks like it's writhing with thousands of snakes. I mean, it must have been an absolutely terrifying display of magic.
Then it's Musa's turn. He throws down his staff. It becomes a real, gigantic serpent, and it just devours all of their illusions. Gone. But here's the most fascinating part: the sorcerer's reaction. They, of all people, knew magic when they saw it, and they knew this wasn't it. They instantly recognized a true, divine miracle. And what do? They fall to the ground, right there in front of everyone, and declare, "We believe in the Lord of Musa and Harun."
You would think that would be enough, right? But despite that incredible public display and a whole series of devastating plagues that God sends upon Egypt, Pharaoh's heart just gets harder and harder. His arrogance is off the charts. So finally, God gives Musa the command he's been waiting for. It's time. Lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. Go now, under the cover of darkness.
When dawn breaks, Pharaoh realizes they're gone. He is enraged. He gathers his entire army and gives chase, and he catches up to them. The Israelites are completely trapped. The Red Sea in front of them, the most powerful army in the world closing in behind them. It's a moment of absolute desperation. And that's when God tells Moses, strike the sea with your staff, and he does. The waters miraculously part, opening up a dry path right through the middle of the sea. The Israelites hurry across, and just as Pharaoh and his army charge in after them, the walls of water come crashing back down, drowning them all and ending his tyranny for good.
So, they're finally free. But freedom, as it turns out, brings a whole new set of challenges. Musa is summoned by God to go up Mount Tor for 40 days and 40 nights to receive the sacred law, the Torah. But while he's gone, the people he just let out of slavery, they start to get impatient, restless, and their faith, which was just tested and proven, starts to crumble. And this is where a mysterious figure named Samiri comes in. He sees their weakness and he exploits it. You have to remember, these people had just spent generations in a culture full of physical idols. So in their impatience for Musa to return, they fell back on what they knew. They wanted a god they could see. And Samiri gives it to them. He has them melt down their gold, he forges it into a calf, and then, using some kind of trick, he makes the idol make a lowing sound. It's enough to convince them. When Musa comes back down the mountain, holding the sacred tablets from God, he finds his people worshiping a golden calf. His grief and his anger are just immense.
The people eventually repent for that huge mistake, but Musa's own journey of learning was far from over. That's fascinating, right? God tells him that there's another servant out there, a wise man named Khidr, who has a special kind of knowledge, a knowledge from God that even Musa doesn't possess. And Musa is told to go and find him.
So Musa sets out and finds Khidr, where two seas meet. He's so eager to learn, he asks if he can follow him. Khidr agrees, but with a really tough condition. You can come with me, but you cannot ask me about anything I do until I decide to tell you about it. For a prophet like Musa, a man of action and justice, this is going to be a huge test of his patience.
So their journey starts. They get on a little boat that belongs to some poor fishermen who are kind enough to let them ride for free. Then, to Musa's absolute shock, Khidr just takes an axe and smashes a hole in the boat. Musa just can't help himself. He immediately blurts out, "What are you doing? You've damaged the boat of people who just helped us."
Khidr just looks at him and reminds him of his promise not to ask questions. It's only later that he explains why he did it. There was a tyrant king just up ahead who was seizing every single good boat by force. By putting a hole in it, Khidr made it look worthless. And in doing so, he actually saved it for the poor fishermen.
Okay, if you thought that was strange, the next act is even more shocking. They see a group of kids playing, and Khidr, he walks over and kills one of the young boys. Just like that. Musa is absolutely horrified. He cries out, "You've killed an innocent person."
And again, Khidr has to explain a painful hidden wisdom. He tells Musa that this boy was destined to grow into a terrible disbeliever who would cause his devout parents unimaginable pain and grief. His death, as shocking as it was actually a mercy from God to save his parents from that future, and God would grant them a better, more righteous child instead.
Their third and final stop is a town where the people are just awful. They refuse them food, water, any kind of help. As they're leaving, Khidr sees a wall that's about to fall down, and he just rebuilds it for free. Musa, who's tired and hungry at this point, has had enough. He says, "Why would you help these people who wouldn't even help us?" And this is where Khidr says, "This is where we part ways." He explains the final lesson. Beneath that wall was a hidden treasure left for two orphans by their righteous father. By fixing the wall, he was protecting their inheritance until they were old enough to claim it. You see, every single one of Khidr's strange, baffling actions was actually a command from God. It was a lesson for Musa, showing him that there's this hidden layer of divine wisdom that's always at work, totally beyond what we can see or understand. The journey teaches him, and really, it teaches us, that what might look like a random tragedy or a terrible injustice on the surface could actually be an act of deep mercy, all part of a divine plan we just aren't meant to see yet. And it leaves you with a powerful question, doesn't it? Are life's greatest trials simply part of a larger, unseen plan?